Thank you.
Hello. Morgan,
You look very handsome.
I work on it. I practice, first of all, I work in the mirror every day. I practice looking hard.
You look hard.
So, thank you. I'm glad I've succeeded in that. I just wanted to say, actually it's like this.
Yeah.
I want to say, can I touch you? Because that puts me 1 degree closer to One Direction.
That's right. You're that much closer to Harry Styles.
Oh.
Right there.
Okay, tell me about your doctor in Super Size Me, because that guy blew my mind. When I wasn't a doctor yet, I think, when I saw Super Size Me.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing this guy and going, oh, he's the bomb.
He's fantastic. What I love about Dr. Isaacs, and he's still my doctor. He is still my physician. He looks like he needs a doctor all the time, which is what I love about him. And I constantly will see him like on the street. I will catch him like smoking a cigarette or like eating like a dirty water dog from a hot dog vendor. And like he'll see me and he'll go.
From my standpoint, coming from a pretty conservative job at Stanford where it was like, yes, sir, and you wear a tie, and would you like anything with that rectal exam?
You didn't say so. You
I
never called me once, sir. I don't believe it.
I would call the ladies, sir. That was the problem. It made it.
It's the ones with the mustache.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. My favorite, though, I mean, if I were going to say who my favorite patients were, they were always the 90-plus-year-old women.
Yeah.
Because they didn't give an F about
They'll say anything.
They'll say anything.
Old ladies will say whatever they want.
And it's scientifically been proven that they do this because the frontal lobe, which is the part of our brain that actually inhibits us from doing stupid things like running naked. That may not be stupid in all cultures, but here, not so good.
It basically turns to ensure as you get like 90.
Yes.
Just like.
Yeah, ensure or boost.
That's right.
Delicious Boost. Get a creamy dessert in a can. Boost. The greatest movie ever sold. So yeah, those guys would tell you anything, and most of the time it was this vaguely 1920s era racist comment that you would laugh at for the rest of the day because they'd say it like a 20s era gangster. You know? Oh, you see, these fellas, see, they come in and they're not entirely white, see, and you're like, well, what are you saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know where I was going with all that. But, you know, we were going to do a parody of Katy Perry's Roar about obstructive sleep apnea called Snore.
Has anybody seen his the One Direction parody that he did, which is spectacular?
It's about flu shots.
It's about getting your flu shot.
We did it with Zappos, actually.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Well, I'm going to quote you on that when you know.
It's amazing.
Morgan Spurlock, Inspire Theater.
I give it 5 mustaches.
As physicians, a lot of us go into the field very passionate with these ideals that are here. Then medical school beats probably 30% of the ideals out of us and turns us into, it's a lot, I tell people it's a lot like Hogwarts, right?
Yeah.
You know, you get this little owls, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be different than the muggles and all of this. And then they teach us those Latin words like, you know, expectorate sputonum and that sort of thing. And we become weird, you know? I mean...
Become?
Yeah. Tenesmus, right? Yeah. Which is rectal urgency, right? Why can't we just say rectal urgency? Like I want to crap my pants. We have to say tenesmus.
You know, so I think there needs to be more folks that are doing what you guys are doing. I don't know how many people have seen Turntable Health or have gone and checked it out. Yeah. If you haven't, you can go on the worldwide interwebs and find out a little bit more, courtesy of the internet. Or you should go check it out if you're in town. But the whole idea, and you can explain it much better than me, but the whole idea was to create a place where you're not just dealing with sick care, you're dealing with preventative health care. That people are coming in, they're getting health consultations before they're sick, they're talking about problems that they've had in the past, so there's already a relationship that you're having with a doctor, and people are being preventative. They're doing preventative health. They're calling patients. Like when was the last time your doctor just called you to say, how are you? You know, it just doesn't happen. And so for me, I think that's what I love about it is that it's changing the way a patient-doctor interaction happens. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the goal is to create a team-based approach, to take the fee-for-service insurance out of it so that you're incentivizing people to keep you healthy, which is very hard to do in the current system.
Yeah.
So for a flat price, you get all you can eat access to the care, then the motive on the doctor's part financially, and this is always, people always say, well, doctors go in for all these reasons. The truth is, they're human beings, and in a system where they're incentivized to do things to you instead of for you, then they're going to do that.
And so, so if you pay a monthly fee, and what's the monthly fee for the people who go there? Like it's an individual, like if it was me.
Right, so if it's you for us,
yeah,
everything included $80 a month.
$80 a month.
Yes, and we don't bill insurance. It's just
and I can come as many times as I want.
As many times as you want. Now it sounds like an adult film site.
Yes.
And the rectal exam, which I do for free, so if you want, it's just down the street.
I just had one backstage. Clean as a whistle. And then we talked about doing another one which you and I talked about. We talked about doing a sequel where I was going to eat myself to clinical obesity, morbid obesity, which
I approved. I was like, yes.
That's a great idea.
It sounds amazing.
That's a terrible idea.
Terrible.
When do we start? Yeah. Which is I started talking to people, like the idea of, because I would personally have to gain like 130, 140 pounds.
Dude, I could do that tomorrow.
That's right.
Do that tomorrow.
It's like, and like a pool of gravy and Jello and like just eating ice cream all day. Part of me was excited about the prospects of just eating crap all the time and playing, Xbox and yeah, would have been beautiful. But because I would have topped out at about 330, 340, I think, for me to hit morbid obesity. Yeah.
Morgan, you wouldn't even be able to get into the heart attack grill for free at that weight.
I know, exactly. I got to hit 350. I got to at least hit 350 so I can get a free meal.
Absolutely.
That's right.
The guy who runs Heart Attack Grill, actually, he used to work for Jenny Craig in Arizona or something. And he realized, he's like, well, people don't have a place to go when they fall off the wagon because they always fall off the wagon. So he built this. And his justification from a public health standpoint was, well, we, unlike McDonald's, we actually advertise that this is going to kill you.
That's right.
There's no duplicity here.
Yeah, so, and for those of you who haven't been there or haven't seen it, so they have burgers over there. They have a burger called the single bypass, which is 2,500 calories, a double bypass, which is 5,000, all the way up to the quadruple bypass, which is 4 burgers, and it's 10,000 calories for this one burger. They have a butterfat milkshake that's 5,000 calories. They've had 2 people have heart attacks actually in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Both the spokespeople for the restaurant, who were like really big obese guys, have died of heart attacks.
Yes.
Both of them died of heart attacks.
Yes.
So yeah, it's
a boon to public health in the end. We actually, so our clinic is down the street a few blocks, and we were thinking, we could just set up a booth. It's like ambulance chasing. You just sit out in front of the Heart Attack Grill, and we're like, you know what? You need my card, sir.
Exactly.
That moo-moo tells me you're over 350 pounds. And again, I keep coming back to Super Size Me because it had this formative sort of effect on me as a young pre-medical or medical student looking at this and just being fascinated.
Yeah, and I get stopped by people all the time, still to this day, who will literally pull pictures out of their wallet and say, this was me before I saw your film, and they were like 400 plus pounds, and weren't going to the gym, didn't pay attention to what they ate, and it made people become much more responsible at what they ate, which I think is incredible.
That's great. That's great. And then that connection that you made in the movie to what you eat and how you feel. Right. I think it's a very legitimate connection that we underplay in Western society, where we always want to take a pill to make ourselves feel better or a pill to fix the poor diet that we're having.
That's right.
But then you look at Italians and their Mediterranean diet, or people on the island of Crete that are living to 100,000 years old, and these blue zones that Dan Buettner talks about. They have a beautiful society that takes care of each other, and they have a diet that just is natural food without processing, and
That's right.
It just works. So we might want to eventually shift to that. It's going to be a tough sell. What I tell patients now is eat food in the grocery stores. Buy it from the periphery of the grocery store.
Yeah, never go in the middle of the store.
Never go in the middle because it's full of shiznit.
That's right. All the fresh food is on the perimeter of the store.
That's exactly right.
Everything is fresh. Vegetables, milk, cheese, meat. Everything is all on the outside.
Yep. So that's like one of the. So any sort of parting thoughts as we start to run our clock down to 8 seconds?
You're amazing. You're a wonderful human being. God bless Zubin.
I'm going to quote that.
Let's hear it for Zubin. ZDoggMD.
Morgan Spurlock, my friends. Morgan Spurlock.
Thank you, buddy.
I'm sorry, I feel a little guilty. I probably should have given you a disclaimer before Zubin walked onto the stage.